Indentured. Indentured labor in historical context.
Indentured servitude represents a significant form of labor migration that shaped societies across the globe. Historically, individuals, often from Europe, Asia, and Africa, entered into contracts, or indentures, obligating them to work for a specified period, typically several years, for another person. This system arose from a demand for labor in colonies and developing nations, where landowners and businesses needed workers. But potential employees lacked the means to pay for their passage or initial expenses. One prominent example of indentured labor is found in the history of the British Caribbean. From the 17th to the 19th centuries, after the decline of indigenous populations and the eventual abolition of slavery, indentured laborers from India were brought to work on sugar plantations. These individuals signed contracts, often under difficult circumstances, promising years of service. In exchange for passage, basic provisions, and sometimes a small plot of land or payment at the end of their indenture. Another significant instance of indentured servitude occurred in the United States during its colonial period. Many Europeans, seeking opportunity or escaping hardship, arrived as indentured servants. Their passage to America was paid for by planters or merchants, and in return, they agreed to work for a set number of years. Upon completion of their indenture, they were typically granted their freedom and sometimes a small amount of land or goods to start their own lives. The conditions of indentured servitude varied, and while it offered a pathway for migration, it often involved harsh labor and limited freedoms during the term of the contract. In summary, indentured labor, through agreements binding individuals to work for a fixed period in exchange for passage and necessities, played a crucial role in the development of various historical economies and migration patterns. As seen in the examples of Indian laborers in the Caribbean and European servants in colonial America.
So, indentured means being bound by a contract to work for someone for a specific amount of time, often in exchange for something like travel costs or housing. This system historically involved people agreeing to work for a set period to pay off a debt or secure passage to a new place.